And as of today, TikTok is back. Frankly, we have no choice. We have to save it. A lot of jobs. We don't want to give our business to China. If you do approve, they're worth like $1 trillion. So whether you like TikTok or not, we're going to make a lot of money.
In this video today, Trump drops a major announcement about TikTok. Just overnight, people were panicking because their accounts were shut down. The app was offline. Now it looks like Trump may give this platform a chance. So we're going to get into this story, but let's start with what he said on Truth Social about TikTok. Check this out. Okay, so that major announcement happened at 7 a.m. Eastern time this morning, where Trump put this up on Truth Social. I'm asking companies not to let TikTok stay dark. I will issue an executive order on Monday to extend the period of time before the law's prohibitions take effect so that we can make a deal to protect our national security. The order will also confirm that there will be no liability for any company that helped keep TikTok from going dark before my order. Americans deserve to see our exciting inauguration on Monday, as well as other events and conversations. So what does this all mean? Well, he would like the United States to have a 50% ownership position in a joint venture. By doing this, we save TikTok, keep it in good hands, and allow it to stay up. Without U.S. approval, there is no TikTok. With our approval, it is worth hundreds of billions of dollars, maybe even trillions. Now, a couple of things here. Number one, clearly, because of this statement, TikTok has now worked with service providers to bring the app back online. And there are people reporting that it is working now because it was offline overnight. Secondly, this sets up a huge debate within MAGA world and definitely between conservatives, because one side believes that TikTok should just go away permanently, never to be seen again, throw it in the trash due to the damage that has been done to our society. And of course, the national security reasons because China owns it. And then the other side believes, well, actually, this is going to hurt a lot of small business owners. There's a lot of people who depend on this app to feed their families. What about them? So obviously, both sides have a point. And I'm going to get into why I believe one side probably should rethink their argument, because if you're this outraged by TikTok being banned and you don't want to ever see it again, where's the same outrage for China buying land around military bases? And not just one military bases. Majority of our military bases, the land around it is owned by China. Now, as I stated, there are some people who never want to see it again. Tom Cotton would be one of these congressmen that is on that side. He has come out publicly, and he's definitely contradicting what Trump wants. He put out a statement commending Apple, Amazon, Google, and Microsoft for following the law and halting operations with ByteDance and TikTok, and we encourage other companies to do the same. The law, after all, risks ruinous bankruptcy for any company who violates it. Now that the law has taken effect, there's no legal basis for any kind of extension of its effective date. For TikTok to come back online in the future, ByteDance must agree to a sale that satisfies the law's qualified requirements by severing all ties between TikTok and communist China. Only then will Americans be protected from the grave threat posed to their privacy and security by communist-controlled TikTok. Now, again, we all know Tom Cotton's not the president. It's not really his authority in regards to what will happen with TikTok at the end of the day. The president can issue an executive order, which he stated he's going to do tomorrow, to extend the time that TikTok will have to make a sale. So it's interesting that he comes out and he puts this statement out. Now, Tom Cotton, he does have some level of authority because he voted for this bill to pass to implement this law that has put us in this position. Now, listen, not everybody agrees with him, but he continued to say this. Any company that hosts, distributes services, or otherwise facilitates communist-controlled TikTok could face hundreds of billions of dollars of ruinous liability under the law, not just from DOJ, but also under security laws, shareholder lawsuits, and state AGs. Think about it. And he's responding to TikTok, who they put up this post as well. They said, in agreement with our service providers, TikTok is in the process of restoring service. We thank President Trump for providing the necessary clarity and assurance to our service providers that they will face no penalties, providing TikTok to over 170 million Americans and allowing over 7 million small businesses to thrive. Now, here's what Trump had to say in his victory rally today on Capitol Hill about TikTok.
And frankly, we have no choice. We have to save it. A lot of jobs. We don't want to give our business to China. We don't want to give our business to other people. And I said, you know, TikTok without my approval, meaning the president's approval, because Congress gave the president the right to make a deal, do whatever he wants. And they did that a long time ago when they had a different president. They didn't know that I was going to be the president, I guess. So I said, very simply, a joint venture. So if TikTok is worth nothing, zero, without an approval, if you don't approve, they're out of business, they're worth nothing. If you do approve, they're worth like $1 trillion. They're worth some crazy number. So I said, I'll approve, but let the United States of America own 50% of TikTok. I'm approving on behalf of the United States. So they'll have a partner, the United States, and they'll have a lot of bidders, and the United States will do what we call a joint venture. And there's no risk. We're not putting up any money. All we're doing is giving them the approval, without which they don't have anything. So I don't know. It sounds like that works. What do you think? Good? I think so. So whether you like TikTok or not, we're going to make a lot of money.
Okay, so after seeing all sides of this debate, my only thing is this. If we're going to go ahead and ban TikTok for good, right? Now, again, Trump has given them the ability to sell, so that may not actually happen, but let's say it does happen. Then can we also agree for Congress to get together and pass a law immediately banning China from buying land in this country? Can we do that? I mean, because then at least we would be consistent. So given everything we know at this point, the only question now is, how is this all going to work out? And Jason Miller, who's in charge of the Trump-Vance transition team, he's a senior advisor, he went on Fox News to explain his theory about what may happen. Watch.
How is this going to work, Jason?
Well, some of that I'm going to leave up to the White House counsel's office, as they're the ones who will actually be doing this. But the important thing for people to realize is this means that talks and negotiations are underway. Because if you remember a couple years back, TikTok already moved the housing of the domestic data to Oracle. So that resides here in the United States. Obviously, they're talking about changing the operational control of the company. That's ultimately going to be up to TikTok and with their parent company to do. So we remove that from foreign ownership and have that something that it's in the U.S. and everyone can be safe and secure with it. But John, President Trump has been very direct on this, even earlier today, saying that he's going to make sure that we save the platform. I think it's important, but we have to make sure that we keep security first and foremost. But there are a lot of young people out there. John, I have a 16-year-old in the house who came in this morning and said, "Dad, TikTok doesn't work." And she showed me the message, and it said, "But we're working with President Trump, and we're glad to hear what he had to say." And I tell you, there are millions and millions of young people around this country saying thank you for President Trump for finding a way to save it, and a lot of people are concerned about security and other measures such as that, who know that he's going to get the deal done right. So I think you should be pretty optimistic if you're a TikTok user or supporter. And if anyone can help solve it, it's President Trump.
Now, Riley Gaines is on the same page that I'm on. Here is a map of Chinese-owned farmland in America. And they have one thing in common. Again, like I stated earlier, they're around military bases, and that's quite a lot. So, yeah, I think there needs to be some more clarity and answers in regards to not only just what Trump and the rest of the administration is going to do about TikTok, but what are we going to do about this? Because this is an issue. Now, the other story that's breaking news today is there's a report about the amount of executive orders Trump will sign tomorrow, which some people are calling record-breaking. And there is an idea of what those executive orders might look like. And matter of fact, let me show you guys that right now. Now, this story was published by Fox News today, and it starts off by saying that Trump will sign more than 200 executive actions on Inauguration Day, a massive first wave of policy priorities focused on border security, energy, reducing the cost of living for American families, ending DEI programs across the federal government, and more, Fox News Digital has learned. One in particular that we're all familiar with is this catch and release policy. Pause all offshore wind leases, terminate the electric vehicle mandate, abolish the Green New Deal, withdraw from the Paris Climate Accord, and take several major steps to assert presidential control over the federal bureaucracy. Now, what's circulating on X, a particular user here that I follow, Eric, he says this among them: declare emergency at the border plus issue proclamation closing the border, designate cartels as foreign terrorist organizations, remain in Mexico and end catch and release. Military will be directed to construct new phase of border wall, terminate Biden's orders on energy drilling restrictions, return federal workers to in-person work, pause all offshore wind leases, which we did read. Here's another one. Order every agency to remove all federal actions increasing costs for Americans via deregulation. Suspend, here's the big one, security clearances for the 51 intelligent officials who lied about Hunter Biden's 2020 laptop story, and establish a Doge hiring freeze. Now, what's interesting is if we were to look at the betting markets, they actually had it at a 79% chance that he would sign more than 15 executive orders on the same day. So obviously for whoever put money down on that, it looks like it's going to pan out very well for them. And guys, it was only a 3% chance if it was going to be lower than that. And we go to these websites because we get to see what is the mood of the country, what are people willing to put money on, and it literally is an accurate predictor of what is to come. Now, I said it in my other video, how a website like this, Kalshi.com, was a great predictor of who was going to win the presidency. So I really do trust what they're saying. And if you guys definitely want to be able to predict what might happen, all you have to do is go to Kalshi.com, KALSHI.com/Dvory, or you can hit the link in the description below. And what they'll do is give you $10 towards your first trade. Again, I like using betting markets to see exactly where things are going as I'm doing my research to deliver these videos to you. That is Kalshi.com/Dvory. Okay, so now let me show you this clip from Trump at the rally speaking about his executive orders. You might actually find this funny.
Oh, you're going to have a lot of fun watching television tomorrow. Somebody said yesterday, sir, don't sign so many in one day. Let's do it over a period of weeks. I said, like hell, we're going to do it over weeks. We're going to sign them at the beginning. You know that old story. Let's do it later. Then it never gets done. No, we're doing them tomorrow. And we'll have plenty to sign in the future. Don't worry about it. It's not going to stop.
Yeah, see, the one thing I admire about Trump is his mindset. He's a big thinker. And I think every one of us needs to practice that and make it a habit in our life, because when you think big, you make big things happen in your life. Especially when you're doing God's work. Now, not everybody looks at it that way. Of course, there are other individuals who are on the left, still deranged, and delivering takes like AOC about what's going to happen tomorrow. Check this out.
Well, we are on the eve of an authoritarian administration. This is what 21st century fascism is starting to look like. Republicans really model themselves after Orban's Hungary. And so you can look to see how Viktor Orban runs Hungary to get a taste of how they will try to govern and control media and companies in the United States. And this is kind of an entree to that.
Now, it's okay if you don't understand anything that she said. I don't either, because this is what they do, okay? The only way they're going to be able to cope with this new age of America, where we get back to common sense, is they start speaking a lot of gibberish about what they think is going to happen while ignoring what actually has happened. But that's a whole nother thing. Now, she wasn't the only one to come out with a crazy take today. So did Joe Biden in his last speech. Hopefully, we never hear from him again. He was at church today, and I thought he said something that he is absolutely guilty of doing himself. Check this out.
But in the words, those words are the essence of the gospel, is the essence of the American promise. The idea, as was mentioned earlier, that we're all created equal in the image of God and deserve to be treated equally throughout our lives. My dad used to say the greatest sin of all is the abuse of power. We've never fully lived up to that commitment, but we've never walked away from it either because of you and your ancestors before us, who followed light of the North Star, even in darkness.
Well, obviously, we're not surprised by those comments, but it continues to demonstrate why the Democratic Party is in a state of chaos. They have no leader. They have no unifying message. They continue to repeat the same message that actually got them in trouble to begin with. And I wonder how long this is going to go on for. Here's my question for you guys to answer in the comment section below. Which executive order do you want to see Trump sign into law tomorrow? Like, if there was one that you would say, Trump, sign this first, what would it be? Let me know in the comments section below. Now, one of the biggest stories over the weekend has been Joe Rogan and Bill Maher's response to Gavin Newsom, because he has definitely made a fool of himself over the past couple of weeks due to the California wildfires. He continues to do these stupid interviews every single day. We've been there every step of the way to call him out on that. But I think you guys are going to enjoy what Joe Rogan and Bill Maher had to say about all of this. So if you guys want to check out that video, all you have to do is click on it because it's coming up right now.